Well, hey guys, we're finishing up today's work on the farm. The humidity out here is so bad, I keep having to wipe the camera lens. Today I wanted to talk about neck knives and the real reason that convicted felons, particularly down here in Florida, prefer neck knives. Now, the reason we prefer neck knives is because it's simple. It's just faster. Because if you need to get to your knife quickly, you can just get it right out, right? Whereas if I got a folding pocket knife, I have to find the pocket that it's clipped to, I have to take it out, and even if it's a somewhat fast opener, I still have to get it out the pocket, flip it open, right? And in a lot of situations, you may not be able to act that quickly, right? Even with regular working situations, let's not forget 99% of this is not a violence thing, it's a work thing. Opening packages, things like that. It's just so much quicker to deploy this than it is to have to go all the way to my pocket to get a knife. This is the K-Bar Neckerbecker, and I keep it, I just either use WD-40 or Pam olive oil, and then occasionally I'll put some actual knife oil on it, but for the most part I just use whatever oil is laying around. You'll notice I am running paracord for the neck, but the way you do this safely is you put a rubber band around it. That way, if you pull hard enough, it will detach, so somebody can't choke you out with your own knife. I had some liberals in my family when I was in the city. People were like, "Ooh, that looks threatening," but this is the actual pocket knife, and as you can see, the actual pocket knife is bigger, right? So my neck knife is actually not a very big knife at all. I'm sacrificing deployability for size. It's not a very big neck knife. And you could get a bigger neck knife, but if you get a bigger neck knife, just know that you got this big bulky thing dangling on your neck. It hurts, it's gonna wear down on you. So you don't want a huge neck knife. So you are sacrificing deployability for the size of the actual knife. Now, moving up the ladder, in a place like Florida, especially in rural areas, we believe in freedom out here. So if you walk around here with a machete on your belt, nobody's gonna say anything. Another reason I like the neck knife is you know where it's at, right? And it's in an area to where you could easily get to it in a defensive situation, right? So if I'm in a defensive situation, I'm being hit, I can, quickly react, block, access the neck knife, counterattack, get defensive. If it looks like I'm cowering in fear, it's because it's an actual move. You cower in fear to block, to get an assessment of what's going on. It makes the enemy overconfident and careless, and they're going to do something stupid. And it's the natural reaction to throw your hands up and to kind of cower in fear whenever you're attacked. So it's a reaction that I practice because it's a natural reaction, and it allows for a counterattack. And you see how fast I was able to get that. And the last thing I want to have to do if I'm shoved against a wall or something is to have to dig into my back pocket for a pocket knife or something like that. If you do carry a pocket knife, don't carry it in your back pocket. Don't put any weapons in your back pocket. If you put weapons in your back pocket, people can easily take them from you, and you don't want that. Like I said, it's another reason I like the neck knife. It's hard for you to take it from me because you have to get to my center in order to take it from me. Another thing is, we know this as convicts in prison. When you have a knife in prison, you have to know where that thing is at all times, right? So you don't want there to be any doubt about where that thing is. I don't have any doubt about where this thing is. Another thing worth pointing out, in my pants, I got my phone, I got my wallet, I got my keys. I don't need one more thing weighing down my pants. I don't like one more thing weighing down my pants, especially right now. Right now I'm wearing some swim trunks. It's just what I wear around here, right? And those swim trunks, if you load the pockets up with a bunch of crap, they're gonna start sagging. And I'm not one of the cool kids. I don't like having sagging pants. Definitely makes it easier to fight if your pants ain't sagging. So for these reasons, yeah, neck knives are very, very common among felons. Obviously, under certain circumstances, you can put them under your shirt, and you can use it as a concealed weapon. You're going to run into some legal issues when you do that, and you have to practice deploying it. It's a little harder to deploy if you're concealed carrying this thing. I would check your state laws and whether or not you can legally conceal carry it. Based on my understanding in Florida, it's legal now, but I like open carrying it anyway. The main thing is you have to remember if you're dealing with somebody that really, really knows what they're doing, they can take this thing off your neck and use it against you. So if you have no idea what the fuck you're doing, I wouldn't recommend the neck knife if you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. If you have some rudimentary understanding of what you're doing and you have good situational awareness, I would recommend the neck knife. But if you really don't know what you're doing, nothing you carry is really going to do you any good. So practice with whatever the hell you're carrying. Practice with it, you know. I recommend getting rubber knives, getting rubber training knives. You've seen in my other videos that I have some. One way to practice with your knife is doing regular work tasks with it. Like, so when you want to open a box, you use this to open a box, you know. And the more you deploy it, the more proficient you're going to get at deploying it. And remember, guys, 99% of the time, more than 99% of the time, you're going to use this thing to open boxes. Unless you live in a very dangerous place, over 99% of the time, you may never use this thing as a weapon in your entire life. You might just use this to open boxes, you know. Now, if you live in a dangerous area, you may have to use it. But for the majority of us, you know, I don't choose to live in a dangerous area. I just don't see any value in it, you know. I want to live out here where it's peaceful. Look how peaceful it is out here. That's long-term strategic thinking beats tactics every single day. So strategically relocating yourself away from toxic people, away from the cities and all this unnatural stuff. That's me personally. That's what I've done in my life. But this is a very good self-defense option. Just remember that the main thing I've defended myself with is cardboard boxes. I defend the shit out of myself against cardboard boxes. So I've been stabbing and cutting cardboard boxes up all day with this thing. You know, just remember that. It's also just, you know, it's a great tool to have, but man, when you need it as an actual weapon, you might need to deploy this thing as fast as possible. And so the neck knife, I recommend 100%. I actually recommend this one, the K-Bar Necker Becker. I know Bone Tactical makes a pretty good one, and Bone Tactical is a huge fan of neck knives. I'm going to plug him even though he's been a dick to me, even though he really doesn't deserve it. I'm going to plug him. I'm going to plug his ass even though he really doesn't deserve it. So check out Bone Tactical's neck knife. He makes some good neck knives too. I'll plug Bone Tactical just because I feel like we Florida felon people have to kind of look out for each other, and he's a business owner and he's a convicted felon and he's into tactical gear and shit like that. So I'm not going to shit on the man even though I disagree with him about a lot of his gray man theory stuff. I'm still gonna plug him, you know, because that's just the man I am, you know. And I'm not even really mad at JD. Like, JD's going after pedos, you know. So if anybody's been going after JD, stop that shit. I'm not telling you to go after him. Stop. Don't go after his ass, you know. And unless you're really taking it personally, the shit with the shirt. Let me put it this way, bro. He ain't worn the shit since, so that shit's dead as far as I'm concerned. You know, that's just the man I am. I don't hold grudges. So, Jordan Jareb, signing off. Take care of yourselves out there.